watcher. Time for the filler. Part 10. Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Right, today it's just me, you and the camera. I've got a little bit of that moulding to do. The welding's finished. The tabs are on. All I've got to do today is start the first coat of that filler. Now what that means is I'm not going to just smooth the welds completely in the final full thickness of the filler. I'm actually going to spread some into all the little joints and I'm going to let it dry overnight, purely because it's really humid at the minute. I'm going to put plenty of hardener in, but I just want it to set. I just want to get a good layer of that filler in. So today it's just about spreading the first little bit in and seeing if we can make those joints start to look a bit better. Okay, stick around, stay tuned. This is what happens. Alright. Okay, just going to use a box. Just a little bit to start with. And see what we end up with. Plenty of hardener. When I do this, I always buy an extra packet of hardener, because what they give you is never enough. Mix, and this weather should go off in about 20 minutes, I reckon. Okay, there it is. Blancmange, anyone? Right, just feeling as I go with this. Not done this for longer than I can remember, and this stuff is a particularly easy sand version, so it will sand off quite quick. I just want to get it all into the gaps between the welds to start with, and then as it builds up, the thickness will build up and it will start to take on actual body to it, a shape, a thickness. Putting it in with any thickness now, I want to press it in between the welds at the minute. Just fill up all the little gaps. Seems as if this stuff is being affected by the weather. It literally is going off in minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm just mixing up small amounts, really tiny amounts that I can get rid of quick, and less hardener, cool down the load a bit. I learnt from watching Milo and Dan Bethel and the likes doing body filler. If you can do a hot load, put more hardener in, or cool it down, slow down the setting time. But this is, it's about 70 degrees, so this is setting way quick. So this one, a lot less hardener in this. It's going to be a lot cleaner. Should go in quick. You literally, I've got about 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes to work with that, which means it's messy, but you just sand it back out. There we go. Quite good fun, really. This is the sort of thing you did when you were a kid. Playing with this and plasticine. Alright, you really only get, I timed it just now, you get literally 2 minutes, and in this heat this has gone off. How on earth you do this if you're working in a body shop, I've no idea. I guess someone who does work in a body shop will probably tell me. Come to the conclusion that the difficult part of this is going to be not getting this in now, it's going to be sanding it so it looks half decent. And there we are, that's the challenge. making a decent job of something that you take on when it gets harder. Right, now this, I've got to show you this up close. It's just gross, isn't it? Look at that, ice cream babies. Right, now all I've got at the moment is 2 thick coats in there, and until that stops fingernail marking, it's hard, too hard to do anything with, and I don't want to keep spreading more over. I want to just leave that for now. I've done all round, both sides, all the different joints, ice creamed it. And just now I think the best thing to do is give that as long as it takes to harden off, and then start sanding a little bit of it back so that I can actually see where it needs to be, because at the moment it's just starting to look messier and messier, and just adding more is going to look just messier still. So that's getting a bit thick in those joints now. I want to clean this off, and then once that's hardened up I can sand all the excess off, see what's where I need it to be, and then start making a decent job of it. Right, I found a decent way to do this, having a look in on here, obviously, is to just roughly shape them. I've got an old reasonably blunt rat file, and just using this as a surf form to kind of grind out all the big fat excess stuff that became a bit messy and get the rough shape. Just get in these joints. It's actually quite therapeutic. You can hear it cutting the filler, and it makes a nice radius because of the shape of that. So later on what I'll probably do is wrap sandpaper around that just to get those radiuses exact. But for now, radiuses? Radii. Curves. It just takes out the excess that doesn't need to be there. It gives me the shape, and then I can just build the shape, because once they're smooth I can just build them up a lot simpler. It seems that when you're finger spreading that into a weld, into an actual blobby weld, it just kind of squeezes out like jam in a sandwich. As you squeeze it in, it squeezes out the sides, but once it's smooth and I've shaped it just like this, actually got the curves that I want, actually got the correct shape, just a little thin, then all I've got to do is a smooth layer over each, and it's not squashing into any holes, so it should make it a bit easier, and it's a hell of a lot quicker than sandpaper, and a lot less costly as well, because I was going through sheets of it, and where it's little bits of it have dripped and dried, I can just cheese grater it away with this. Actually getting the shape with the file in the end, pretty much getting the shape like that one in there for instance, and you can then just obviously a thin skin of filler over the top and then sand. It seems a far easier way than sanding it from scratch. Just grating off the excess sort of overfill with your rat file, just because it's quicker and easier, like I said, and it's pretty much gets the shape almost pretty much on all of them now. You can feel where there's filler, you can hear it, and then you touch a weld, just back off, get a lovely joint like that. Okay, so a messy old job, powder everywhere, typical with any moulding filling. But as you can see on there, close pen, you've got a smooth finish around each one now. One layer. That's kind of what I call the base layer. That's just so that each one is smooth. There's no knobbles. There's no weld showing. I've used the file to file the shape, so I've got the forms correct. What I want to do now really is get another layer of filler and just skin it with a thin skin over the top of that. Each one just smoothly, and build up a couple of those, and then I can use just sandpaper instead of the file, because the shape's already there. So trying to use the shape, following the shape that I've created now, and hopefully make them look just a little bit better than they do now. So another layer, a bit more. Just using this old box as a base. Just going to do one thin layer over the whole lot. Does that smell nice, Ben? It's nice.
Strong.
There's a bit. So this will just be a final coat, well, a fine coat, just a thin coat over the top of the basic shape. It's dry so quick. In the winter time this takes an hour to dry. Still, moan about summer coming. Right. So, just want to try and put a thin smear around it all. Nothing serious, nothing heavy, no heavy coat. Just a thin smear. And then build them up as I go. Trying to avoid like that, putting filler where there isn't any, because this is all it needs to be, is in the joints. And now the joints are the right shape, I've just got to build it up. Right, honestly that has pretty much gone off now. Didn't take long. Try and smooth it in, because once it goes like a plasticine, it can actually help to smooth it out. There it is. I'm going to leave it there. It's been a long enough video. This is just a process, an ongoing process of filling and sanding, filling and filing and shaping and moulding. It's just a long process. It's not something that you can do. Here it is. Ta-da! That's what I did. I'm just going to carry on with this until the filler is done. I'm going to film any more of it. The next thing I'm going to do is it'll be ready to paint. So I'm going to crack on with this. It's probably going to take. This has been probably 3 to 4 hours just to get to this far. All these things take time. It's the drying time. This now goes off like a plastic. It's going to take probably another half an hour before it's ready to start sanding. So I'm going to have a cup of tea. A cup of tea, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time. Take it easy. Ride safe. Thanks for watching number 10. Take it easy, and I'll see you for the next one.